The late afternoon sun cast long shadows over Robert Miller's fields. As he wrapped up his day's work at 52, Robert's rough, time-worn hands spoke volumes. Decades spent nurturing this modest farm. The very land his father once worked, though. The farm gave just enough to get by. Luxury had always remained a distant idea in his simple life. Miles away, Elleanena Winters steered her sleek silver Mercedes down the curving country road. At 48, she had built her real estate empire from the ground up, rising to become one of the city's most well-known businesswomen. She was on her way back from a failed property negotiation when her car made a troubling noise, a harsh grinding, followed by smoke pouring out from under the hood. "Not now," Elleanena muttered under her breath, gently pulling the luxury vehicle to the side of the road. She tried restarting the engine, but it was useless. Checking her phone, she found there was no signal. The nearest town was miles away, in the distance. Her eyes landed on a modest farmhouse. With a sigh of resignation, Elleanena slipped her designer heels back on and started walking toward what appeared to be her only option for help. Robert was washing up when he heard a knock at the door. Opening it, he found a striking woman in a sharp navy suit, clearly out of place against his worn country porch. "Excuse me," she said. "My car broke down about half a mile back. Could I possibly use your phone?" "Of course, ma'am," Robert replied, stepping aside. "Reception's a bit unreliable out here, but you're welcome to give it a try." Elleanena stepped into the humble home, noting its clean yet time-worn appearance. She made a few calls, first to her assistant, then to a towing company, which informed her no one could come until morning. Meanwhile, Robert quietly prepared some coffee. "Looks like you're stuck until tomorrow," he said, handing her a warm mug. "I can take you to the hillside motel in town if you'd like." "That's very kind," Elleanena responded, touched by the man's gentle hospitality. "I hate to ask for more, but would you mind if I had a look around your farm before we go? I rarely get a chance to see country life." Robert hesitated briefly, then nodded. "Not much to see, but you're welcome to take a look." He led her outside as evening began to settle, pointing out the modest fields that sustained his livelihood. Eventually, they reached an old barn, its red paint faded by years of sun and rain. "This barn's been standing since my grandfather's days," Robert explained as he slid open the heavy wooden door. Elleanena stepped inside, and for a moment, her breath caught. The last rays of sunlight filtered through the cracks in the wood, bathing the barn in a warm, golden light. But what truly left her stunned was what lay inside: an array of handcrafted wooden furniture. Beautiful tables with intricate designs, chairs with graceful curves, and cabinets adorned with detailed inlays filled the space. "Did you make these?" she whispered, awe in her voice. Robert stood still, watching her fingertips trace the carved pattern on a cherrywood table. No one had seen his work in years, this secret passion he pursued in quiet evenings after long days on the farm. "Yes," he replied simply. "Just a hobby." Elleanena turned to him, really seeing him for the first time, not just as a farmer, but as an artist whose extraordinary talent had remained tucked away in this quiet old barn. And Robert, watching her truly admire his work with heartfelt appreciation, felt something awaken within him, something that had been silent for years. That evening, over a simple homemade dinner that talked for hours, Elleanena spoke of business triumphs and the loneliness that often came with success, while Robert shared stories of a life rooted in the earth and dreams of woodworking that had always felt too impractical to follow. "Why hide such beautiful craftsmanship?" she asked. "Never had the means to do anything with it," he confessed. "Or maybe I just never had the courage." The next morning, just before her car was towed away, Elleanena made him a proposal, not charity, but a true business opportunity. She had space in her downtown building for a workshop and gallery. His work, she said, deserved to be seen, and she had the network to make it a reality. 3 months later, Robert stood beside Elleanena at the grand opening of Miller Craft Works. His once hidden creations, once gathering dust in an old barn, now stood proudly under soft, elegant lights, and as they watched guests admire each piece, their hands found each other's. A quiet but powerful bond formed between two very different worlds. What began with a broken-down car had led to something neither of them expected. His hidden gift finally found its audience. Her success finally found its deeper meaning. And sometimes, Robert thought, the most meaningful journeys begin with the most unexpected detours.